yourself on the floor. When the man with the power and the dollar says you ain't worth a cent, and your wings won't fly and your words won't flow. You can't force a smile and they won't leave you alone. I see the light in you, let it shine again. 'Cause you were born for the fire, raised by the storm, braver together, loud and fun. Heart full of country, soul full of grit. We don't run, we rise, and we don't quit. Oh, we don't run, we rise, and we don't quit. I know a woman with a lion's heart and a pretty blue dress with a shopping cart. Head full of dreams, gonna change the world. Got a body of words they say won't sell, and a way with words which she won't tell. I see the light in you, let it shine again. 'Cause you were born for the fire, raised by the storm, braver together, loud and fun. Heart full of country, soul full of grit. We don't run, we rise, and we don't quit. Oh, we don't run, we rise, and we don't quit.
We don't run, we rise, and we don't quit. Thank you, Brielle Hart, for that lovely song. You guys can find that on Spotify or Apple Music, wherever it is that you stream music. Please support her. She's an amazing artist.
Yes.
She's got some things coming out soon too. So yes, and welcome our out-of-pocket family. Thank you for joining us from all streaming platforms. And thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you like what you hear and you get something out of it, please make sure you share it. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. And thank you, Talk Red, for all that you do, being the
and Liberty Cigars,
Liberty
and
Cigars.
our investors.
We've got, and we will have more about that coming too, because we want to offer you guys the opportunity to be a blessing to others and help support. But we do have some investors that we just couldn't do it without them. So we're grateful for you guys. All right, Alan, we've got a lot in store today. What?
If you want great Patriot gear,
yes,
go to patriotgear.com.
Yes, thank you, Conservative Aunt.
Or go visit. So what they have in store is different than what they have online.
True.
But it's definitely worth the trip to come down to the coast and see Conservative Aunt. You never know who's going to be in the store, though. Seriously.
The albino alligator. Remember that? I was like, she's holding it, nursing it, nurturing. I'm like, I see
Pearl.
I see luggage.
So cute.
I see luggage.
Well, I mean, she's great. You can't do that with the albino ones, though, because they're so rare. But
I'm not touching.
I mean, you could dye one. A green one, you could dye it. Like, anyway, since I make it having pythons, let's just do pythons because they have overtaken everywhere, but they may not now because the Everglades are on fire, you guys. So please make sure you pray for Florida. Right. But again, it is worth a trip to Cape Coral, to go to the Patriot Gear store, to go see.
We love you, Conservative
Aunt. You never know who's going to be in there. Grimsey News was in there a couple days ago.
Who's the Hispanic guy that does the is that Grimsey? Okay, because I follow him, but I don't.
I think it's Grimsey.
But anyway, he's hilarious.
Hilarious. Oh my gosh. He is killing it being here in Tampa, just saying. So everyone's moving to Tampa. Everyone is
moving to Florida. Oh my gosh. Because all we do is win. But guys, we have so much in store for you today. So what happens when somebody makes a proposal that's not, it's like a half, proposal? And you're like, no, that's good. Well, that happened with President Trump and came back with some terms. And he was like, yeah, that ain't going to work. Plus, there was just a historical vaccine victory for all of us who want to be able to prove not only that they can and do cause harm, but also that we can hold them accountable, hold the industry accountable. We just had a major victory. We'll hear about that. Also, I thought we were done playing stupid games.
Why does it still rear its ugly head?
Pronoun usage in class. I'm not talking about the typical pronoun usage. I'm talking about an educator standing in front of a classroom demanding speech to be a certain way. This is crazy. This is crazy.
We will not comply. We will not comply.
Hanta, what is that called?
Hanta Manata.
Hanta Manata.
Hanta Manata doing this again.
All right, let's go ahead and open the mic and get out of pocket.
Two queens, no filter, say what they feel. Allie and Michelle keep it way too real. Politics, family, yeah, we go there. If it's out of line, we don't care. It's out of pocket. It's out of pocket.
Hanta Manata.
We've been having an English lesson. Whoa. It's Spanglish. I can't. Hanta Manata.
Yes,
Hanta
Hanta.
Akuna Matata.
Right, but it's a play. It's a play because Akuna Matata means no worries. But Hanta Manata, doing this again that's what that means. We're not complying with the virus.
I'm gonna need to Duolingo it. A few times.
I can teach a class.
So,
It's
thank
fun.
you. Oh my gosh, you guys! Happy Wednesday. We the People Wednesday, I guess we'll call it. We are grateful that you guys joined us. Please make sure you're also following our personal pages at Allie Leger. I almost said at Allie Posey. I almost just gave you a 27-year death sentence in a marriage that you didn't have.
I mean, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we have an announcement.
Dear God.
I've been adopted by her mom. That's
true. That's where, yes. At Real Allie Leger, at Michelle Posey. I don't know if we're going to find the words to last a whole hour, but you're going to have a good time watching us try, is all I'm going to say. Dear Lord, let's start.
Ab day.
Okay, so President Trump took to Truth Social and just let it fly like we love that he does.
Love that he does that on Truth. It's
The
like
most out-of-pocket
Instagram for
He
President
said-
Trump.
This is the post he made. He said, I just read the response from Iran's so-called representatives. I don't like it. Totally unacceptable. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So this was the peace proposal that Iran's representatives chose to respond with. And I guess he kind of took a look at it, decided to throw it in the recycling bin.
I wish I would have been a fly on the wall in that room. I'm sure there would have been some expletive.
Yeah, that's that word. That part right there. Then
And like a toss of what in the
actual
is this beep 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 beep. It just tossed it. That'd have been great.
I would have loved to have seen all of the measures that were on there, but so now you've got the
just leave that to Senator Mark Kelly to divulge that information.
I'm sure he can. Yeah.
Good Lord.
But I almost want to see what this is like with Iran now trying to negotiate peace, because that's what happens when you FAFO. You get to a point where you're like dropping the bombs and we don't have anything left, and we're losing leaders right and left, air quote leaders. Let's take a listen though. This is breaking. Iran responded to Trump's proposal. He called it totally unacceptable. Here are Iran's demands. We do have it in this. So end to fight and a gradual reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. It's not called the Strait of America yet, so I don't think that's going to happen. Iran says the UN must lift its blockade of Iranian ports. That's not going to happen.
No.
Because that's how we're negotiating.
Negative.
And nuclear issues to be negotiated over the next 30 days. So that's kicking the can like they've done for 47 years.
No, we will not comply.
No, we're not going back to a red line.
We are not negotiating with
We're not going back to red lines, red flags. We're done. Sorry, that was a little bit more than just about Iran. But take a listen to Fox News' reporting, then we'll talk about it.
But we do have some breaking news tonight being reported by the Wall Street Journal, citing people familiar with the response from Iran to the U.S. proposal. And here are some of the highlights. Iran is proposing an end to the fighting and a gradual reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. must lift its blockade of Iranian ports, say the Iranians. Nuclear issues to be negotiated over the next 30 days, another stipulation. Also, Iran proposing to have some of its highly enriched uranium diluted, the rest transferred to a third country, and also Iran willing to suspend enrichment of uranium, but for a shorter period. than the 20-year moratorium being proposed by the administration. And it'll be interesting to see what reaction we'll get to these points by the administration. But earlier today, Iran's military said that if the U.S. was thinking about restarting the war, they better think again.
Oh, so not only are you trying to negotiate with your ridiculous demands, then you add a threat at the end? Wow.
I mean, when you should, the art of the deal talks about knowing what place you are negotiating from. Iran, you're not negotiating from a place of power. So the word must really shouldn't be in your dialogue in this first.
And think again.
Second of all, you think you're going to tell the United States of America that you're going to water down some uranium and then give the rest of it to a third country? China?
Yeah.
Russia? Like, are you like what?
How about no?
I mean, this is
how about no? But this is what happens when pride takes hold, right? Like
this is what
it's weakness. They don't have a negotiation tool. They have nothing.
They are tools.
They have nothing. They have nothing.
They have nothing.
I wonder what the response is. I'm pretty sure we know what the response is going to be from our lovely president. I think we'll probably find out in the next few days.
So, and what we have to understand, I try not to feed the trolls, but I do get into discussions sometimes with people who I understand not everybody's happy with the fact that we are engaged with Iran right now. When we voted for President Trump, we didn't want any new wars. This isn't a war.
Right.
This is part of securing a portion of the world that has been at war with us. Now, if you understand that Iran is the #1 state sponsor of terror, then you understand what's happened in Iraq, what's happened in Afghanistan, what's happened in Yemen, what's happened in other parts of the country where we have lost young men and women. They have bled and died for this country in those areas. Do we not retaliate against the #1 state sponsor of their death? You think about Benghazi, you think about all roads lead back to Iran's negligent, gross leadership. And it's not, their people are not a respecter of their government. It's not all King's protest. Can pack your bags, get your passport, and go over there and protest the fact that they live under a dictatorship.
Unless you have $100,000 in missed child support.
Missed child support. Oh my God, Alex.
Sorry, I'm linking our podcast episodes together just in case.
That's what we said yesterday.
Yeah, no. So yes. So there is a faction of, I think, the conservative movement that are concerned about when we said no, when we said America first, how is this conflict, because it's not a war, how is this conflict, and words matter, with Iran, America first? You just laid it out perfectly.
Well, and I'll go one further, because I know that a lot of those conservatives that have an issue with the Iran conflict right now are people of, because I hear about it like in church, the people of faith, because you really didn't want any new wars. Again, not a new war, a conflict. But when Nigeria killed, I believe it's over 300,000 Christians so far, just in this year. Do you know where they're getting their funding from?
Iran.
And were we okay with the president of the United States sending some people in to take some people out?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yes, we were.
It wasn't a war.
Right. So
it was a solution.
Right. Exactly. So again, what is the big concern? Because there aren't boots on the ground, and we have congressional members that are fighting to keep from having boots on the ground.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to get there. I really don't.
I don't. And with any conflict, you probably have people in higher levels that we don't know about because it's above our pay grade, that are there. We do have people in the Strait of Hormuz. We do have Navy ships there. They're firing on private companies. That's what Iran is doing. When we built the Panama Canal, when we as people in America built the Panama Canal, we said, here, Panama, and you're welcome. And then they gave it to the Chinese. So then you look at the Strait of Hormuz, which is not technically Iran's. They took it by force during the revolution. And you see
Which wasn't a revolution. It was a terrorist attack.
Thank you, on women and other Christians. When you think of them using that as a way to just torture the entire globe, like, when did we become the sissy state that's just like, I don't want to get involved? Like, grab them and go in and say, you're not doing this. You're not, let's stand up to the bullies.
Yep.
Because sometimes they falter like.
They do. They do. And you know what?
And I don't think we're out of there till we call it the Strait of America.
Everyone's going to be so mad.
Good.
They'll be so mad.
www.idon'tcare.com. We need to get that domain. Bree, can you see if we can get that domain? Because now I kind of want it to reroute to out of pocket. Oh, I almost said it again. I just think this is, I want to see it come to an end. I do. But I don't know how many generations of stupid they have over there in Iran that we keep getting these new representatives that just don't know. They don't know. You're telling me with all the educated young people that have been trying to die in the streets just for their peace and for their freedom, we can't how do we topple this thing and get some of them in office? The ones that just want to live. Because
they're also, they have the Chinese that are helping with this.
I guess.
Right? Like, I guess. Don't they?
And then it becomes generational.
I don't know.
It's a heavy lift. And you know what? We can all say we know what we would want and what we would do. But when you are in that
and you're living
office, and you're taking all of the, advisors, that all the information, and then you're sitting in that seat.
You have a heavy decision to make.
You do.
You do. You have a decision that needs to be made. But it requires proper messaging.
Yeah.
And so far, it's been the same. Promises have been kept with no boots on ground. So
far, yes. And we're hoping that that's the case, So keep it locked here for all your Middle Eastern news, apparently. We got you. Also, going to pivot a little bit to a win. It's not very often in the medical freedom world that we get to celebrate a federal win. This is coming from InfoWars, and I always check and double check and triple check, but I've seen others pick this up. As a matter of fact, Vaccine Veritas picked this up, and that's one of the reasons why I showed it. But so vaccine court rules that vaccines can cause SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. I want you guys, and it might be a longer clip, Zach. I think this one might be longer, so we'll kind of wave if we want to come back early, but take a listen.
We just had a case where SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, suddenly won in vaccine court, a court where nobody can win, but the evidence was so damning of an 11-week-old baby given 10 vaccines, man. 10 freaking vaccines, all the aluminum, all the adjuvants, and dies 5 hours later. They finally won in court, which means vaccines can and do cause SIDS. You and I have known that forever. And look at Florida. At the same time, Florida is now looking to pass a law that as soon as a baby dies of SIDS, the coroner and the doctors and everyone involved have got to report what was the last vaccination they had. Can you believe that's not happening
and let's
already?
Explain. Now that they have to report that, it's game over.
Yes. I am 1000% so glad that this is happening. I'm so sorry for the loss of that baby and other babies that have died from that. You know how many parents have been put in jail because it's been proven, quote unquote, that they somehow neglected their child or something happened, and or the excuses, right? And the parents know something is wrong.
Gaslighting of parents.
It is terrible.
Yeah.
And so I am 100% supportive with Florida. Again, Florida is the tip of the spear, moving the needle, leading the way in the nation when it comes to all things that are protecting Americans and protecting our family and our institutions of family, and the health and wellness of our children. For us to put that in the books on law paperwork, that the coroner has to cite what vaccine was the last vaccine before death is huge, especially with childhood vaccines.
It's been such a long road coming here. And I only speak for myself for the last 6 or 7 years, but I know people like Allie and others out there that I can think about that have been fighting this for so long. And we're just now getting a bit of a shift in culture.
Who knew? All we needed was a new president.
Right? And the ability and the right to ask questions and to petition your government and your bureaucracy. Because do you remember when we went to the Department of Health meeting here in the state of Florida, and they had all these people flown in from different areas that were going to advocate on why we needed to keep the vaccine schedule the way it was and blah, 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 blah. What they didn't count on, Allie, was parents and those who have witnessed their loved ones be injured by vaccines to show up and eloquently and ethically just sit there and speak about the truth that they know they lived. And when you consistently show up and you consistently don't go silent, something eventually snaps and something eventually clicks in and it works. And it's like you have to fight. It's almost like it's biblical. I was learning this weekend that like what it means to pray in supplication. Like that means over and over and over again. Well, I think you fight and you battle in supplication, especially when it's for your family and for your country and for your freedom. All parents ever wanted was the right to say no.
If no is a sentence, then why is it not treated like that in your doctor's office?
Thank you.
Choice is freedom. And when you have manufacturers or big corporations that are funding their own studies and then petitioning and hiding the truth studies, right?
Henry Ford Hospital.
And then going to the federal government and spending billions of dollars on lobbyists to petition for government-sanctioned liability.
Absolutely.
Exemptions from lawsuits, right? Then you get a corrupt industry where they can do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. It doesn't matter.
You know what industry has never had immunity from liability? The car industry. And think about what the car industry has had to go through in order to make their product safer, more user-friendly, more transparent.
Wow.
We also let it fail when it was not doing well.
Wow. And there were no bailouts.
No
bailouts.
But the business that you have, are you allowed to just get blanket immunity? I mean, it's time to really seriously, all you people who chirped about wanting, an overhaul of the healthcare system. Well, you're getting it, but it isn't coming under a Democrat president. So how does it feel? Just pisses me off.
Girl, she said it. I mean, did that make sense to y'all?
I burped too a little bit. Did you hear it?
Oh my God. Oh my!
She said, clip. So, yes, Allie, this is good to see this victory on the books. Thank you to all of you who knew that there was something not right. Thank you to Allie's generation of mamas that knew, and dads, you knew something wasn't right. Thank you for not going silent. I know it almost felt like abuse.
Yeah.
To look people in the eye who are like, well, where's your degree? How do you know? And then now I go
because I've read all the studies. Have you?
No.
I can literally tell you what page it's on. Like, that's how versed I used to be. I kind of,
Guys, this was not
like Dory.
It's suffer from short. Just keep swimming. I love you. But so listen, this is not something new.
No.
Again,
this has been around for,
but I want you to listen. So
there's a book called, never mind, but I'll talk about it. Go ahead.
So part of part of the narrative is that, you have to get these vaccines because, especially something like the Gardasil, because it stops from, it prevents a certain type of cancer, right? And then, you have to get the COVID vaccine because it stops this and that. Although we pointed out yesterday in our show that the COVID vaccine, actually one of the side effects is the hantavirus.
Hantamanata.
So I don't know. But listen to RFK Jr., Secretary RFK Jr. Listen to him talk about what studies are finding now linking the Gardasil HPV vaccine and cancer.
Gardasil is probably the single worst mass vaccine that we've ever seen. This vaccine targets millions of preteens and teens for whom the risk of dying from cervical cancer is zero. You know, nobody in their right mind would ever take this vaccine if they actually read the clinical literature. Death rates in the Gardasil trials were 37 times the death rates for cervical cancer. Children who take that vaccine, the Gardasil vaccine, are 37 times more likely to die from the vaccine than they are to die from cervical cancer. So the problem with Gardasil, like most vaccines, is it was never tested against a true placebo, an inert placebo. And the CDC and HHS say, if you don't test it against a true placebo, it's not science. You have no way of gauging whether the injuries you're seeing from the product are being caused by that product or whether they're just bad, sad coincidences. The entity that is actually performing the study and paying for the study is Merck. So Merck got to decide which injuries were being caused by Gardasil and which were just bad coincidences. And because it had that power, it just wrote them all off as bad coincidences. You can do that when there's no placebo, because the injuries they were seeing in the control group, where the girls were getting aluminum neurotoxins, were identical to the injuries they were getting in the Gardasil group. So they said, well, we don't have to report any of these as vaccine injuries. So they were able to license something that is insane.
There's a book called, if you want all of this literature, it is called The HPV Vaccine on Trial. You can get it anywhere, I believe. Amazon still carries it. It's no longer 1984, so you are allowed, 1984 in 2020.
Yeah.
So you are now allowed to purchase it through Amazon. Again, it's The HPV Vaccine on Trial. It has a lot of the studies, all of the studies that were done, the background, the history. Dr. Mary Garland, I believe her name is, Mary Holland, has spoken about this. She's done the research. She, I believe it's written by her, maybe. But again, these are all of the same people that have worked with Dr. Bobby Kennedy.
Yes.
Since he's been a part of RFK Jr., since he's been a part of this whole vaccine movement. It's actually really more, I don't want to call him doctor. I don't know if that's really his title. I know he's a lawyer.
Oh, who?
Bobby Kennedy.
Oh.
Well, he might have a doctorate. I don't know, in like law school,
but
law.
Not like the Jill.
Yeah, no. But my point though is that he's worked with a lot of these same people that have been in this fight for quite some time. And wait till they find out the vitamin K vaccine is linked to leukemia.
It's coming out, and they try to put that in a child,
giving it to
in the first 24 hours of birth.
They don't need
so, Allie, this is what shocked me in doing a little bit of like my own, just trying to figure this out, as most moms have. When they say that these vaccines and these injections are safe and effective, you can't even get to the effective part because you haven't proven
the
safety. Safety requires, want to follow the science? It follows a double-blind placebo test. What is a double-blind placebo test? That means that both the person getting the injection and the person administering the injection do not know what the patient is getting. Are they getting saline or are they getting the actual injection? Double blind, because then nobody's got a way of contorting. You ever watch Grey's Anatomy? Meredith like actually gives the injection. She looks okay. That is
it violates ethics.
It's exactly. So it has to be a double-blind placebo test. Putting Merck in front of testing their own product is like putting the fox in front of the hen house to guard it. What are you doing? It doesn't work. And so you can't prove the safety of it.
And then comparing a vaccine with an adjuvant, which would be
something that's just as toxic
or similar.
So here's what the Henry Ford hospital did
Yeah.
in the inconvenient study, they said, listen, we've already got a lot of people. And listen, any major hospital or medical network, please feel free to pick this up and do this. If you've got 30 plus years of people coming to your practice, you've got your own double-blind placebo, so to speak, a group in front of you. It's a retrospective study, right? Where you take all the people you know through their history of what injections they've had, and you've always got patients that haven't had any. And that's what the Henry Ford hospital did. They went through with Del Bigtree and went through and had this big study of just people they already had practiced on in 30 years. No new patients, right? The study was so conclusive that this crap is toxic and that it's causing harm, irreparable harm to our young people, that the person who handled the study will not produce and publish the study.
So who will inherit our country and maintain its sovereignty if they're all sick and dependent on the pharmaceutical industry?
Wow.
Only the elite that do not vaccinate their children will be in charge.
Or do a show of getting the needle while getting saline.
Because that's what happens.
And I can say, Allie, this is one of those instances. President Trump, I 1000% disagree with you.
Yeah, no, a lot
You
of people do.
consistently say how you're getting your COVID shot. Knock that off. Like, seriously, you're not somebody who should be standing there advocating for any medical treatment. And I think warp speed was the worst thing you ever did. And you constantly toed it like it's the best. If I could get your ear for a second, I would say,
Sir,
mijito, knock it off. This is how you know that you can be on the right side of an issue, but argue with those in leadership. You don't have to go along to get along. But
right.
Again, I don't know if it's something where like Secretary Kennedy has to be like, sir, like pipe down,
That's safe.
or if it's just Trump. And so he's not going to largely listen to anybody anyway. I don't know. Maybe it's just because he's human and I should give grace, and I will. But geez, it makes me so mad when he says that. Guys, we've got so much more that we're going to discuss, including who out there remembers Spencer Pratt? Heidi, his wife now, I think, was on Laguna Hills, Laguna Beach. What was that? What reality show? No, am I dating myself? No.
Laguna Beach.
Laguna Beach. Yeah, it was a reality show. Wonderful. Well, so he's going to be he is running for LA mayor against Karen Bass, the former or current communist. We'll bring that up. Plus, we're going to talk a little bit about true leadership. I kind of like that perspective. Also, we'll talk about the Supreme Court victory on conversion therapy. We have a big win coming out of the state of Colorado. So we'll talk about that. Also, darn it, pronouns are back in the classroom.
Not excited. Guys, keep it locked to ear. We'll be back with more Out of Pocket after this quick message from Liberty Cigars. From the heart of Marietta, Georgia, comes a tribute to the spirit of liberty. Liberty Cigars, where history meets craftsmanship. Each cigar tells a story. The Founders Collection honors the visionaries who shaped a nation. The President's House Collection celebrates the leaders who steered it. And the Naval Series salutes the heroes who defended it. Handcrafted with precision, each blend mirrors the essence of its namesake. From the boldness of George Washington to the elegance of Thomas Jefferson. Indulge in a moment of reflection. Light a Liberty cigar and savor the legacy. Discover your story at libertycigars.com, because every great nation deserves a great cigar. Liberty Cigars, smoke the history. And don't forget to use promo code OpenMic for 10% off your order.
That's right. Open mic ladies, formerly open mic ladies, now out of pocket ladies, and still use that promo code open mic for Liberty Cigars. She said it's about to get hot under the collar.
Sorry, I didn't want my inner ears to come out, so I had to
You had to adjust. We're live. We're grateful to be here, guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And also, thank you to Talk Red for, I don't know, I just want to at this point say putting up with us, because you guys are great. So if we think about, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about the city of Los Angeles?
The first thing that literally popped into my mind was the poop map.
Oh my God, wait a minute. I was not thinking about this when I had. Allie, educate us. What is the poop map?
The poop map. Do you remember? I think it was like last year or earlier this year. I think it was last year where they literally had a map of like where all the excrement was because their homeless problem is like so bad that it was everywhere. It was like people were literally like you couldn't walk the streets of LA.
Dude,
guys, I'm supposed to go to California. I am not excited to go to California next week.
And it's awful because it was considered at one time like California dreaming. And it's
but all of them are coming to
landscape is
Florida.
beautiful.
Go away.
I know, but the landscape is beautiful. I can remember last time I was in Venice Beach, the entire beach smelled like urine. And because of the homeless encampments. And I didn't even want to walk on the beach because like they're peeing in the sand. Like you don't know what, like, ew. And then like, but the condos all right there on Venice Beach on the boardwalk are like multi-million-dollar. And then when you come out of your multi-million-dollar condo on the boardwalk for Venice Beach, there's these old rundown RVs with the sewer pipe opened and like a plastic tub there and it's just flowing. Girl, I know. It was nasty. I was like, is this like Beirut or is it? Comes the poop map.
Oh.
I'm gonna put my
I'm so sorry. That's when you asked me the question. That's the first thing that popped in my head. I didn't think
sweet Jesus.
I didn't think about Hollywood. I didn't think about actors and actresses. I didn't think about beaches. I didn't think about TV shows. I thought of the poop map.
Well, it's better.
Traumatizing.
It is traumatizing. Well, think of how they feel out there, which is why when you want to move out of California and you call U-Haul, they're actually paying people to drive U-Hauls back to California because there's just a mass exodus across the border over.
They're all coming to Florida because Florida is the other coast, right?
We have a beautiful West Coast too.
We do. We have an amazing West Coast, and
leave it alone.
But
okay, so. Think about their mayor there, Karen Bass. She has a long history of traveling to communist countries and working with communist sympathizers. She was a head of a former communist gang in LA. You want to talk about getting somebody's work history before you elect them to office.
Hey,
Plus,
Spencer.
She's allowing Governor Newsom to run rampant and make sure he leaves the reservoirs empty during fire season. So Hollywood was gravely affected by the Palisades fire and other fires. A lot of other communities were too. Mm-hmm. Enter Spencer Pratt, who is saying, I'm going to challenge her for LA mayor.
Good. I'm glad somebody did.
All right, let's take a look at his one of his ads and then we'll talk about it.
Is this the house? It is. How do you get it out? I want to go in the nursery.
Heidi and I have been through hell together.
My bad. Oh, I'm pulling up the covers. Oh.
No mom should ever have to go through what she's gone through.
This is the first week it's been here.
Hummingbird! 3!
You see him right here?
This was where your bedroom was, remember? This was Mama's room right here. Are you okay?
No.
I think that they're trying to have a good attitude about it, but I did see Gunner like almost crying up there, but they're so happy to be home too.
This is my old favorite shovel, Mom.
Wow,
And it's plastic. This used to be my... Oh, it didn't.
there's a piece of it. But I think they're just happy to be home.
I just was right here.
You want to sit right here?
I gotta go pee.
Oh no!
I got time to go pee and nails.
Go pee right there.
I got...
constantly in awe of Heidi. She's the most incredible mom to our boys. She's why I fight.
That's a long political ad. I'm just going to say.
It is.
And this isn't one of the, I thought you were going to play the other one. He has another one that has kind of taken social media by storm. It's him as like the superhero coming in to save LA. And it paints him as almost like a Batman and Karen Bass as the Joker. And he's doing this play on Gotham and how he's coming in to save the city of Los Angeles because it has just gotten that bad. It's almost as it's even. I mean, it just puts political ads to a different level, on a different playing field. I think when you have young social media like gurus, right? I guess you'd call them the kids that have grown up with social media, the kids that have grown up with tech, the kids kind of like the millennial generation,
right.
And the Gen Z generation. They're making a different they're just changing the political landscape with their ads, as you've seen with the White House. But
yes, absolutely.
So if you haven't seen that one, you should. It's pretty interesting. But also, I like this one. I haven't seen this one.
Well, what I was thinking, as I'm watching, and of course the devastation is
100%.
It is real, but part of what I've heard from other people around the nation is that, a lot of these people are fortunate enough that they can rebuild. They come from some kind of affluence or have worked and have, in the industry they have. But it still doesn't. Right.
It doesn't make the trauma any less.
And it doesn't make it any less the government's fault for not being good stewards of what you're given. So, for example, did you know that the state of California actually reroutes water supply back out to the Pacific Ocean because of one tiny fish that's in some ponds on some farmlands? And you have to think about, this is where your green policies go like so communist. You're gonna leave reservoirs empty because you rerouted water back to the Pacific Ocean instead of allowing, when the fire season is. Like, when those Santa Ana winds pick up, you left all of the people in disarray. You left your first responders were crippled. And you were up in the northern part of the state at your winery drinking wine. Like, it doesn't look good. So to have somebody that's like, this is my fight that I'm picking up now. Like, this is our city. This is or LA County, whatever. We're taking it back.
That's his why. Every candidate needs
a why.
A why. Mm. Every candidate needs a why.
Yeah.
And he's lived it. He knows the shortcuts that the government has made because he's lived it.
Right.
And to see his wife suffer and his children suffer at the hands of
negligence.
I was looking for intentional negligence. Weaponized
negligence. Yes.
Right. Like it. I think Spencer Pratt has a chance. I really do. I think the people of California that have chosen to stay they've had it. Because some of them can't leave. Some of them don't want to leave.
And I tell you what, northern LA County is extremely conservative.
Right.
They really only have Sacramento, parts of LA County, and obviously Hollywood, and maybe some parts of San Diego, but most of Orange County is red anyway. So and then what does this look like if somebody like Spencer Pratt can get in and do the job well? What does that look like for the future of like a governorship?
Let's go.
Right.
Let's go, Pratt. Like, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I really am.
Maybe just like you and the Maha moms didn't abandon the first time you were gaslit.
Yep.
Or the first time you were told no.
We killed 8 bills in 1 year.
Yes. Maybe that's what's the remnant of California is going to rise up.
Like
Right.
We need new people in office that have been fighting, not new people because they have an option or it's a new thing to be a congressperson.
I want to run for.
I want to run for office. What have you done
me
for the state or the county that you are running for?
Well, and then
have you been involved?
Yes. And then when people do step up to run with the best intentions, maybe you don't hang them out to dry just because you woke up on the wrong side of the bed that day. I mean, you have to have thick skin and really. So if you are somebody out there who's gotten to the point where you don't necessarily care about public perception of you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an age thing or it's just you've gone through enough stuff in your life. You're like, I don't care. You're ripe for that type of launch into running for office because you're going to get it on both sides. You're going to.
It is what it is. It is.
Come at me, bro.
What it is.
Or sis.
Like I've said it when I ran for school board. I'll give you my phone number.
You got it.
I will meet you at a public place. You pick.
Yep. I'll show up with a microphone. Let's do this. What questions you got? Oh, nothing? Just suggestions? Mm-hmm. Just to complain again?
Mm-hmm.
Next. Mm-hmm. Show me the needle you've moved. Anyway, guys, so that is coming your way from the West Coast. It should be coming from any blue state that you live in or purple state. Let's pivot a little bit. Let's talk about leaders and let's talk about leadership, because one of the things that you've said many, many times on this show is that we have to be careful not to exalt those, even that are elected representatives, that we don't put them in a place of perfection. And as people that step up to run, let's not require people to look at us as something that is perfection. I think the best type of candidate you can be is one that is raw and real with what you've gone through. I'll just, before we show this clip, this popped into my head. I was at an event, I know because I called you afterwards on Friday of last week, and somebody wanted to do like a gotcha question. Then she obviously isn't a fan of mine, but asked the question about financial, handling a big budget like what we have in our school district, and how will you do that if you haven't been able to, if you find yourself basically at the beginning financially again. And I found it interesting because to tell your story, whether it's about you and your kids and what you've gone through, or me and my life and what I've gone through, getting student debt at later in life because you decide to go back and get a degree, is that not something that's offered? So we're going to criticize people for that. People that go through a divorce and find themselves at the beginning of a chapter, we're going to criticize people for that. People that have to bury a child, you know how expensive it is to die in this country. We're going to ridicule people for that. And to be able to just say your truth of what that is, the people in that room were like, who's this idiot that asked that question? And I think because all you're doing is just saying, I'm human.
No, seriously.
But when's the last time that the 2% elite in this country fixed any freaking problem when it came to spending? So
we currently don't have a balanced national budget. So what are we talking about? It takes our state legislature forever to even come out with a budget. What are we?
School districts are still waiting for that, by the way, because we can't plan.
Ma'am, sir, whoever you were that asked the question, how do your finances look?
Sure, I could tell you later.
Just
so let's listen
wild.
to what this pastor has to say about being careful when you are presented with leadership. Take a listen.
Come on, if you was talking to two people and one had a veneer of perfection and the other one was a little bit vulnerable, who would you trust? The one who was vulnerable or the one who had the veneer of perfection? This is why I encourage leaders, especially those of you who have great influence. It is dangerous for people of influence to put on a veneer of perfection and act like we have no problems at all, because people who are watching us, they start to exalt us now and think, I will never be able to get to that place. But something is very powerful when people have influence testify of some of their struggles.
So good. Can we get more of that from the pulpit?
Thank you. Sheesh. Are we supposed to weaponize?
Well, and then here's the thing. This is what Charlie Kirk did so well, is that the more affluent he got and the more of a stage he got, he always pointed people back to Christ. And that interview where he's saying, they're asking what you want to be remembered for when you're gone. And of course, I'm thinking they mean in 40 years. I didn't realize they meant in 4 days. But he's saying the one thing I want to be remembered for is that I pointed people back to Jesus, because I'm not the perfect vessel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know. So, and you always talk about it in terms of like even what we expect from the people who we elect. We have to stop expecting perfection from those that we elect, even though I just hammered Trump in the first half of the show. You got to stop asking for perfection.
And is it policy driven or is it personally driven?
Oh, I like that.
Because if it's policy driven, we can debate all day long. But if it's personally driven and it doesn't affect policy, then it doesn't belong on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Eat the meat and spit out the bones. Yes?
Absolutely.
So again,
don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
If it's policy driven, then let's discuss. And if it's personally driven that affects policy, like your personal relationships with, I don't know, let's say a lobbyist.
Right. Not a good one.
Personal relationships with lobbyists or non-governmental organizations that are funded by foreign companies or foreign governments.
Yes.
That could affect policy. Then we can have that discussion. But if it's about what's going on in somebody's bedroom, that doesn't affect policy.
As long as you're not, exactly.
It doesn't affect policy.
I really don't at this point need to know.
Because we have a country to save.
We got a country to save.
We have a tourniquet.
That's another Hadass Levy song.
It is. We have a country to save. And we have a tourniquet.
Mm-hmm.
And we can handle those things later and elect more morally driven, compassed folks.
When you step up to run. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Again, there are imperfect people that God will use. Read your Bible.
And this is what we got. This is what we got.
Your Bible.
When you look at the bench and you're like, oh, this is what we've got.
This is what we have. So utilize the tools in your tool belt.
Yes.
Until you can get the job finished.
Yes. Amen.
Or at least lay the foundation so that when the pillars go up, you have a structure to stand on, and then you can morally choose between two people that are running for office.
Call in a new crew at that time.
Right.
To finish the job.
Exactly.
I love that, Allie. That's perfect. I love that. That's a great way to think about it. Well, guys, we do have another victory to explain to you on the Supreme Court front. There has been a lot of people out there that have been adversarial to a certain type of, I guess you could call it counseling or therapy when it comes to young people wanting to either transition or, thinking or feeling that they're in the wrong body. One of those therapies is called conversion therapy. Parents in some states like Colorado and California have not had the right to really guide what kind of help they get their children, their young people, when they say that they feel like they're in the wrong body. Personally, I look at this like when somebody feels like they should be anorexic, they're not thin enough, and you're looking at them and they're 98 pounds, and you're not going to sit there and go, "You're right, we should probably give you a lap band surgery." Like, you don't do that because that's doing harm. So, case went before the Supreme Court in Colorado to try to sway this. Let's take a listen to what the results were.
Ruling against a Colorado law banning so-called conversion therapy for LGBTQ children. Shannon Bream watching this and getting the ruling now. What was decided? Good morning to you, Shannon.
Hey, Bill, good to see you. So a therapist out there in Colorado challenged this law when it was passed, saying, I need to be able to counsel clients for whatever services they're seeking. So the court looked at this, finally decided 8-1 in her favor, striking down that law in Colorado. I want to read you part of what they said. They said it's censoring speech based on viewpoint. Specific things. It says the First Amendment stands as a shield against any effort to enforce orthodoxy in thought or speech in this country. It goes on to say, even if you have good intentions in this law, if you suppress speech based on a particular viewpoint, it just can't stand up. I mean, 8-1, there was only one dissenter here. It was Justice Jackson. She has said that this ruling is potentially catastrophic. She says the majority finds at bottom that Colorado likely cannot legislate to protect the children of its state if by doing so it happens to keep state licensed healthcare providers from saying what they want to minors. She goes on to say it will ultimately risk grave harm to Americans' health and well-being. She says you should be able to regulate the speech of somebody who's providing care to minors. 8-1, majority of the court did not think so, Bill.
Okay.
There you go. That was Ketanji Brown Jackson that was dissenting. So basically, somebody, and this is why it's so important, you guys, in even a state like Colorado, which we're watching them become more and more pedophile friendly. Their laws have gone by the wayside, but this counselor said, I need the right to be able to say, if a parent comes to me and says, we want this type of therapy, I'm not going to be able to offer it. I'm not. You're gonna limit my speech to say, because conversion therapy is really just as somebody feels that they are in the wrong body. It's the belief that you can talk to them and reason with them, no medication involved, no surgeries involved, but through talking that you can actually sway them with this type of conversion therapy. It's not really converting them. It's more like trying to make them feel comfortable in their own body.
Right. And they're using the word conversion therapy. And because I know that this was kind of outlawed before because of the harms that it was doing to certain people, because they were using it to it was almost like an abusive way to get people to get gays to stop them from being gay, which caused more trauma, which caused them to fall deeper into the shame that they were feeling or whatever, and not getting to the root cause of why they felt the way that they did. Now, this is very different, because if you have a family that is coming in and they're trying to, just say, look, like, my child doesn't feel like this person, they feel like a different person, they feel like they're born in the wrong body. Like, how can we, do that? And if it's through talk therapy, you're not converting anybody. It's talk therapy. And that's important. And I think that go ahead, because I'm trying to get my thoughts.
What this reminded me of, let's say, like, if I play the hypothetical game, let's say that you are a Christian counselor in the state of Colorado or anywhere in the nation. Now that this is case law, if you have somebody as a Christian, you're a Christian counselor, Christian therapist, you have a family that brings their young person to you, and the way that they believe could fix the situation, whether it's somebody that believes they're born in the wrong body or somebody who's confused about whoever they're attracted to or going through that process, which, let's face it, adolescence is hell.
It is.
You're going to feel all kinds of things. Sometimes you just need to be able to have a safe place to talk that out.
Right.
So if you're not, am I, as a Christian therapist, quote, let's say, in this hypothetical, am I not able to use the tools that I believe that I have under this former Colorado law?
Right.
No.
But it was okay to convert someone and affirm them into the delusion. But it's not okay to redirect.
Right.
That's the issue. And I want a coroner to prove to me that words have killed someone.
Ooh. Well, yeah. Absolutely.
That someone has died because of words. You die because of actions. You don't die because of words.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It can be a cause that leads you to the action.
Yeah. But Allie,
you understand what I'm trying to say? And I'm not trying to be insensitive here.
No, but when we look at the statistics of young people who end up going through being supported in transing their body and their sex and trying to become the other biology of what they're not,
it's more
overwhelmingly are they worse than, and the suicide rates are actually higher.
Exactly.
And
Justice
Brown. If we're going to take on suicide, I'm going to tell you this discussion needs to get much, much bigger than just adolescents.
Right.
Because you are going to have to, if you as people really want to address suicide, you're going to have to address good and evil. And we're just, as a nation, we're not quite there yet to be able to say that there is a good and there is an evil on a unanimous scale. So,
and it's more prevalent in men.
Absolutely.
And men are committing suicide at higher rates right now.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So we will keep an eye on this. This will affect some of the laws in other states. California, buckle up, because I'm sure it's going to affect you. Let's, before we run out of time here, let's talk a little bit more about the pronoun usage. You want to talk about not being able to mandate speech. You can't make me call you a boy if you are, in fact, a girl, or a girl if you are, in fact, a boy. And that's my First Amendment. But here we have an example in a classroom. Seems harmless, right? This teacher is just trying to say, these are my pronouns. But even the kids understood this is not making any sense. It's a little bit of a longer video, but I want you guys to watch it. Take a listen.
Okay, class, so I am teacher Darren, and my pronouns are going to be Z, Zer, Zer, Zers, and Zerself. So that's how you will address me? Yes.
So what about she, her, hers, herself? That's what we know.
Yes, but I am gender neutral. So I am not a female, nor am I a male. I would be in between. So right here would be my pronouns. Yes, in the back.
So I'm sorry, I'm confused. Are you Mr. Darren? Miss Darren?
No, I am teacher Darren. There would be no Mr. or Mrs. in front of that. Just teacher Darren.
Wouldn't it be Zister or Zis?
They haven't created that word yet, but you're on the right track. So it is just teacher Darren for now. Yes.
You look like a pretty lady to me.
Well, thank you. Most people would take that as a compliment, but I am gender neutral, so I am not a lady. I can be pretty, but not a lady. Yes.
So you can't be pretty, or
I said I can be pretty.
So you can be pretty and you can be handsome, but you are not a she that is pretty and you are not a he that is handsome.
Correct.
That would make no sense.
I'm confused. I guess I'm.
What are you confused about?
I'm confused over the whole thing.
Why do we have to learn this?
Well, because this is how the world is changing now. So the world progresses and we progress with the world. Yes, in the back.
Can we just call you by what you look like your pronouns are?
No, because that would be disrespectful. So my pronouns are Z, Zer, Zer, Zers, and Zerself. Or you can just call me teacher Darren. Yes.
I think the last one is pretty funny, so.
Yeah, what'd you just say? Because I don't know if they heard you.
But you can call the brown girl the black girl, or the white girl, or the brown girl, who's light skinned, and call her white.
Yeah, call me Blanca.
Right, but I can't address you based on how you look. I have to automatically I have to just know that
what
you're
is Zer?
What is that?
I was thinking of Zyrtec.
Maybe she should take some. I don't.
These young people,
and they're pushing back,
and they were like, "No,
pushing back," and I appreciate that because I'm not playing these.
In our reading rates that we are graduating people, our literacy rates in this country are staggering low, and you want to confuse pronoun usage to make you feel like you live in a bubble. Call me whatever you want. Let's get to reading, history, civics, arithmetic. Let's get you a job.
Right. Can we help you read so that you can function in society? This is not going to help you function in society.
This is the participation trophy group that's now old enough to teach, and you have to codify me and my feelings. Do you know how many times I'm called out of name? Not even Mr. or Mrs. I'm talking about if the boot fits. But do you know what I mean? And I'm going to take offense every time.
Girl, this is wild.
Why?
I think people are getting tired of this. And I like the question, why do we have to learn this? And pay close attention to what she says. This is how the world is progressing. And we progress along with the world. What does the book say?
We are in the world, not of the world.
Not of the world. So guys, if you have recently or have in the past accepted Jesus Christ as your savior, does your life look like it?
Some reflection needed. Full-length mirror. Just saying. I'm going to need a full-length mirror for that one.
Are you calling this out with love? Are you arming your children with this?
Yeah.
So I'm saying this because so there was a situation at a playground where there was a little girl who was playing with some other friends, and there was a conversation that was being had, and I guess she wasn't Christian, and the kids are like baffled by this. Yeah. They're like, "What do you mean? You're not Christian? You don't believe in Jesus?" And they're like, she's like, "No." And they're like, "Well, we're worried that you're going to go to hell. Like, so who do you praise? Like, do you praise the devil? Like, are you a witch?" And I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, moms and dads and people everywhere, please teach your children how to approach these conversations with love. So you're not sending a little girl who doesn't understand or doesn't know this or is raised in a different environment from a different country with different cultures, you don't send her back crying and like with tears in her eyes and then having the feeling of, well, I just got attacked by Christians. Because then that's how you develop someone who is saying church hurt or doesn't want to follow Jesus because of how people who say that they follow Jesus have portrayed him and his word.
And this is why I love that analogy and that real life situation, Allie, because this is why we keep advocating for parental rights and for parents to be involved every step of the way. Because in a typical classroom or out on a recess type of thing, we as parents are not going to be there. You hope that your children remember what you taught them in Sunday school or wherever. But if you're out on a playground as a parent, somebody like Allie or somebody who's always got an ear, your kids are either within ear or eye shot. Like you just kind of.
It was a learning experience. Yes, girls. We had the conversation.
But if you're, you have the right as a parent to be there and help nurture that, right? Mm-hmm. Can you imagine sending all of those kids off without any explanation whatsoever? The cluster that's going to be.
And the doors lock and you're told, no, you can't know what your child is being taught in school. No, you can't know the conversation they're having with the school counselor. No, you can't know what the teachers are providing as far as reading materials because you're just the parent.
Yeah, that's no bueno. No bueno. Guys, stay engaged in your children's lives, not just when it comes to medical, not just when it comes to what's happening in your backyard, but also when it comes to the hard conversations. They grow up fast.
Yep.
Well, that's it. I think we've gone over time.
We may have.
Zach's probably like, okay,
ladies, wrap it up. We love y'all so much.
We love you. We're here at 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And we are so grateful for you. Make sure that you reach out and let us know if there's any topics you want us to talk about or if you have any comments. We can take it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Hey, don't we have a speaking engagement coming up?
We do. We will be
on Saturday.
We will be at the Charlotte County Fairgrounds for Grassroots Uprising. That's right. We're going to be speaking to grassroots candidates just like you and I who decided, Nally, you know what, we want to get involved. So if you're interested, make sure you go to the Charlotte County Fairgrounds webpage. We'll try to have by tomorrow. We'll try to have that actual address for you guys so you can show up if you'd like. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
Be the sharpest tip of the spear in your circle of influence and keep the mic open and stay out of pocket. We love y'all. See you tomorrow.
Two queens, no filter, say what they feel. Allie and Michelle keep it way too real.